Steve-O. We will be right back with more experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Now, get ready for more Ask the Experts.
And we are back for our last 30-minute show. We've got a very interesting guest that we've been sitting here talking, and he is really going to do, I know, a great job today. This is the Ask the Expert show. We are on 7:40 a.m. If you're having problems picking up the show, go over to 103.9 FM or 96.9 FM. We're on all three stations. This is a show that you all asked for on air conditioning, but we found a company that's not all they do. There's a lot of things that they do that a lot of other air conditioning companies do not do. And today we have with us here in studio, we have the operations manager, Rich Edminston. Did I say it right?
You said it right.
Edminston.
Thank you. Yes, you did.
Yeah, so, man, this is your first time. Thane's usually here, but we're really glad to have you, and we're going to be talking about mold assessment today. We're right here on the water, so we're the ones that have the most problems. Tell us about the company. The company is Envirotech Air Quality Service, and you're going to find out why they're also called Air Quality. Tell us about the company.
Well, our company is, we like to think we're very unique in the marketplace out here in South Florida. We're one of the very few companies who are licensed air conditioning contractors. We're licensed mold assessors, licensed mold remediators, and we're also certified duct cleaners. So what we do is we take a look at the indoor air quality in your house more than just your air conditioning system, or more than just your duct system, or more than just anything in your house. It's basically an entire system that we look at it.
You have a long checklist.
We do. We certainly do. We do a lot, yeah.
Well, how long has the company been in business?
About 12 years now.
So here's the thing. You know what? I want you to write down their phone number, because you never know what's going to break down on you. And you go, what was that company's name? I should have written it down. The company's called Envirotech Air Quality Service. Give everybody the phone number.
You can reach us at 561-686-8926.
And I got to tell you something, because this is not really about mold, but I want you to be careful. There's always people in the area who are selling and buying their houses. We were moving out of our home, and we found out afterwards that there was a reason why our bedroom on our side of the house wasn't being cooled down, and we found out the air conditioning wasn't big enough for the size house that we had. So when we left, someone bought the house, and I just asked Rich about it. I said, do these inspectors tell people about it? And I know these people were not told about it. So they go into a house, and all of a sudden they got to buy a larger air conditioning. So I'm telling you, if you are buying a house, you make sure to check on to see if the air conditioner is large enough. Make sure it's also working, because the inspectors don't always tell you everything.
And there's a couple other things you should look for, too. We're really not so concerned about the capacity of the air conditioning system, while that's important. The construction of the duct system is very important. Down here in South Florida, there's many houses with similar situation that you ran into. My first house in Florida was exactly the same way. Generally, what they'll do is put the master suite the farthest end of the house from the air conditioning system, and the air just can't travel as far as you would like it to.
Right.
So you're laying in bed with your beautiful master suite and your giant bathroom, but you're sweating. Many times the answer could be a higher capacity air conditioning system, but sometimes the duct system can't handle it. So there's some duct work involved. Sometimes the answer is installing a separate air conditioning system or a ductless mini split system.
Well, I got to tell you, we got a lot of emails this time, because everybody knew you were coming on. And I got one question I have to ask you. We're in hurricane season. Do these storms, the rain and the wind, do they hurt the air conditioning unit?
Generally, they wouldn't hurt the air conditioning unit unless if it's not, the condensing unit isn't tied down properly. A lot of apartment buildings have air conditioning condensers on the rooftop.
I've seen those.
Most residential units are tied down to a concrete slab on the side or in the back of your house. If they're not strapped down properly to meet the proper wind codes, they could blow away or come apart, certainly.
Any damage done to the system that people need to be aware of?
Well, certainly, if any part of your system blows away, whether it's a cover on the condensing unit, dirt and water could get in there and ruin the electrical system. There's reasons for those covers to be on there. We had a customer 2 years ago during one of the hurricanes right on the water in Palm Beach, and his covers blew off his air conditioning system. He had brand new Lennox systems. Well, maybe they were a year or two old, but top of the line Lennox systems. They were completely filled with sand.
Wow.
When we went there. So it burned out all of his control boards, and he had quite a bit of a nightmare there. But we were able to get him up and running within a couple of days of the storm's passing.
It just leads me into, and we are going to talk about mold today, but you offer a great service, and people need to take advantage of that service. Don't wait till your air conditioner breaks down on you. Yep. There's a lot of things that you do when you come out, when you have a service agreement, that no one would even think about.
That's right. There's a couple advantages to having a service agreement with us. Well, the biggest advantage is we'll be out there twice a year to check your system. We have a 14-point checkpoint. We're checking, basically, the purpose of it is to check the vital signs of your air conditioning system. Just like going to the doctor. Just like going to the doctor for your checkup. We're going to check the operating pressures, the temperature differential, things like technical things like subcool and superheat. While that might sound like jargon to people out there, it's the vital signs. The great thing is we'll be able to tell if something's on its way out. Just the other day, we were at a house doing a residential precision tune-up, and we noticed the capacitor and the condenser was ready to go.
Oh,
they have a habit of swelling and rusting. We showed it to the customer. We said, we could change this to you for a very, very small price right now. By the way, you get a 10% discount because you're a residential service agreement customer. Or you can let it sit, and as it gets hotter and it keeps running, it's going to break down on the hottest day on a Sunday before dinner. It will happen.
On a Sunday.
That's what's going to happen. So we're out there twice a year. Another thing that we do during our checkups is we blow out the drain lines. We clean out your drain lines twice a year. That right there is worth the price of admission, because on a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon or a Friday night, that drain line clog is going to cost you. It's going to be a service call plus labor rate plus fixing it. You're in for $200 or $300 when the cost of a residential service agreement is $199 per year, plus you get that 10% discount on most things that we offer, on duct cleaning services, on repair services, labor.
Listen, don't wait for it to break down. Yeah. Listen, the average person does not know anything about an air conditioning except, does it cool me? I'm telling you, you can call Envirotech. Call them tomorrow. And I'm telling you, tell them to come out and check your air conditioning, because I'm telling you, you and I do not know about air conditioners except that the cool air coming out. Right. You can find things that is going to save them so much money in the long run.
Yep. That's absolutely true.
One of the other emails we got is, how often should you change your air filters?
There's no one right answer to that. It depends on the filters you use and the environmental conditions in your house. Generally, if you've gone more than 3 months, you've probably gone too far. Some places I suggest they do it every month. Some people every 2 months, every 3 months, but no more than every 3 months. And you certainly want to take a look at the quality of filters that you're using. Because if you're using the inexpensive blue fiberglass filters that you could see through, well, that's not filtering very much. A lot of that dirt is getting right in there, right into your evaporator coil, affecting the air quality and affecting the performance of your system.
To 3 people asked me to ask you. One of them said they were told that they can just wash them down.
Some people
they're not that expensive.
They're not, and we could supply a year's supply, a 2-year supply, a monthly supply of most any size filters, especially stock size filters.
Ever heard of that, washing them down?
There are filters out there that are washable. Some of the units actually come with washable filters installed. What we do is we remove it and install a disposable filter. The best filters really to get are the pleated filters. You'll see, again, we could supply you with them.
The pleated ones?
Yep. Yeah.
What does that mean?
When you look at it, it looks like a pleated curtain.
Oh, okay. Almost like an accordion.
Like an accordion, yeah. Generally,
those are the best to get.
Yeah, and they come in different levels. We have MERV ratings. Home Depot and the hardware stores have a different rating, but generally the higher the number, the smaller the diameter hole that the air has to go through. So we generally recommend a MERV 8 filter.
Okay.
We think that provides plenty of airflow.
Does it say it on the side?
It does, yeah.
Around,
you get up
the
around
size
MERV
of
13 or things like that. You're not letting a lot of air through because it's almost like Gore-Tex, tiny little fiber, tiny little holes for air to go through.
Whoever asked those questions, great questions.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to go full board when we come back from break on mold and mildew. Give everybody your phone number. Write this number down. This is a great company, Envirotech Air Quality Service. You're not going to remember the name, but write the phone number down.
Yeah, give us a call at 561-686-8926, and chances are I'll be on the other line, on the other end of the phone. And if it's not me, it'll be our owner, Thane Brunsvold.
Yeah, and if it's really hot in there and they come out, Rich will even fan you. That's all part of the service.
Yes.
We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk about mold. And I'm going to tell you something. This is a very serious topic. We'll be right back.
At Envirotech Air Quality Services, their qualified technicians are experts in the air conditioning and heating field. They make sure to stay up to date with the latest technology and methods so that they can provide their Palm Beach area customers with superior HVAC services. Their technicians are trained by well-known manufacturers and suppliers in the industry, such as Trane and Johnstone Supply. Envirotech Air Quality Services serves over 500 residential and commercial customers, many of whom are long-term clients. A large portion of their business comes from customer referrals, and they are the preferred AC vendor to two of the largest polo clubs in the region. They value each and every customer and tailor their services and recommendations to their needs and financial situations. Thane Brunsvold, the president of Envirotech Air Quality Services, oversees each project with his hands-on approach on each job. Ask about their free 12-month residential service contract. Contact Envirotech Air Quality Services today at 561-327-4486.
And we are back. We are talking about mold and mildew today. And when you're on the water like we are, you want to pay close attention to this. We're sitting here with the operations manager for Envirotech Air Quality Service, Rich Edminston. And we spent the first half of the show just kind of doing some basic questions. We had 7 people write us this week for the show. And we'll give you the number again if you want to call them tomorrow about the service agreement. I got to tell you, because Thane and I talked about this, and I want to ask you, how do people know if they have mold? Because I remember one of the things he said is if you start seeing the floor buckle and it's in the bathroom, we had that in our other house.
Yeah.
We were like, how could that happen?
Many times the first signs are visual and the mold is behind the wall covering or the floor covering. In bathrooms, we find many times behind wallpaper.
Wow.
We always recommend
So
people
it's
don't
not- you
wallpaper in
don't
the
even see
bathrooms.
it.
Right. So many times you have visual signs, whether it's a floor buckling, caulk separation on floor trim. That's a big one. Don't let your real estate agent, when you're trying to buy a house, say, oh, they could just recaulk that. Think about it. Think a little deeper.
I'm freaked out because first of all, I know how sick you can get from mold. You just described exactly what we had in our other house. We were like, how come the floor's buckling in?
Mm-hmm.
And you're right with the molding.
Yep.
Why is it coming out? So we probably more than likely had mold.
Could be. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, those are some signs.
Yeah. Other signs are more are less subtle. A black stain on the ceiling. You had a
seen
roof
that
leak,
before.
and there's something black, on the drywall now. Well,
Yeah.
that's probably mold. A brown stain on your ceiling could have mold growth on the other side of the drywall. If you have a steady leak in your ceiling, in your roof, or under a window or something, you see brown stain, chances are there's mold developing behind that drywall, and it's time to get it checked out.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you do when someone's got mold?
Well, we'll go out and inspect it. If you've had another company inspect it and provided you a test, we'll follow their protocol, or we'll help develop a protocol based on their testing. But it really starts with a visual inspection of the house to see the proper project management.
Is there any way? Is there like a Geiger counter? it tells you that there's mold there?
There is. There's several tests. We're licensed mold assessors. We perform indoor air quality testing. The main source of our testing is air sampling, where we come into the house and we use a pump, an air pump that just sucks a certain amount of air through a cassette, and we send those cassettes off to a lab, and they sit there under a microscope and actually count what's there and what's not there. There's surface tests. If we see a spot on the wall that's suspect, this could be mold, sometimes we'll cut it out. We'll take it with us. We could take a tape lift, almost like a fingerprint lift, like the police would do. We'd take a tape lift and send that off to the lab. So there's many different tests that we could do.
Tell people if they have mildew in their house and they don't take care of it, you can get really sick from this.
Yeah, in most cases, mold isn't going to go away on itself. And if you haven't taken care of the source of the mold, which is generally the water leak or an improperly functioning air conditioning system that's causing elevated humidity levels in your house, it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. There are many molds that are not considered toxic mold, but most molds are known allergens. So
can allergies be related if there's mold?
Without a doubt.
Allergies
without a
like
doubt. One of the most common molds in the world is called Penicillium aspergillus.
There's a lot of different molds.
Yeah, there's hundreds of types of mold. There's molds that are never supposed to be in your house. If it is, it's probably like Stachybotrys. That's the one that everybody calls the black mold. That's generally a result of wetted building materials, whether it's drywall or wood, and that's an issue. But
so if they're coughing or sneezing a lot,
yeah,
that could be another sign.
I will tell you this: we get a lot of calls from people. I moved into this house 2 months ago, 3 months ago. My daughter is sneezing, and like a doctor, we ask questions and we try to get the symptoms. Most times, it's some people are sneezing and coughing, and other people aren't. So we love to come out to the house and get our eyes on the problem. Sometimes it's an issue in the duct system, whether it's a very dusty duct system. The ducts have never been cleaned before, or there's mold growth in and around the duct system.
People don't think about that.
They don't until it's a big problem. All of a sudden I see some black stuff coming out of my vents in the bedroom. That's a sign there's something going on. Hey, we had a storm. It's been raining for the past month. Now all of a sudden in my study, the entire wall is wet and black.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about a ring around the ceiling that looks like there was a leak there? It's kind of almost like a brown circle.
It's the brown circle is generally a result of a water leak somewhere, and just because you see it's brown on the ceiling doesn't mean it's not black on the other side, and it's not bigger on the other side. Chances are it's much bigger on the other side than it is what you see.
Where do you see most of the mold and mildew when you come into a house? Bathroom, kitchen?
Generally around windows.
Okay.
Down here in South Florida, many times caused by sprinkler systems that are aimed towards the house, and the windows haven't been caulked in 20 years, and there's cracks in the stucco that haven't been properly sealed and things like that. So water intrusion is a big issue.
So that's actually what causes mold, is water.
It is water or humidity. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Water.
Listen, I do not want any of our listeners getting sick. I am telling you, if you've seen spots on the wall, the ceiling, if you're coughing a lot, sneezing a lot, give Envirotech a call tomorrow. You're not crazy. There is a problem in the house. Give everybody your phone number.
Again, we could be reached at 561-686-8926, and we'd love to talk to you about any issues you're having. Sometimes what I find is we have a tendency to put people at ease. People tend, when they see a spot on their ceiling or something coming out of their ductwork, they tend to do the research on the web. And I call it the WebMD complex. You start researching it, oh my God, we have all these diseases, we're all sick, we're all going to die. Give us a call, we'll be able to help you through it. Many times the solution is simple, but it's really about getting somebody to look at it properly first.
So I understand that Home Depot sells these kits.
Home Depot
does.
does.
Are they very reliable?
Well, the thing about the Home Depot kits is there's going to be mold everywhere. It's almost like self-medication.
Okay.
If you've used one of those Home Depot or Lowe's kits, good for you. You think you're being proactive about something. Give us a call and share the results with us. We'd be happy to come out and give you some proper testing.
Are they as accurate as what you use?
Probably not. Probably not, because they're not as targeted. And they don't. Generally, what they don't do is give you a control sample. Now, the thing about mold is there's mold everywhere. The important thing is what mold is in your house and at what levels, and is it found in comparable levels outside your home. So without that control sample taken outside, you're not getting a full picture of the air quality in your house, really.
See, there's so much more to your air conditioning. And oh, by the way, what is a good temperature to leave your air conditioning on when you're gone on vacation?
That's a personal preference, really. And really what's most important is the humidity level in the home. But what 78 degrees is probably the top that you want to
78?
leave it, but every house is different. Every house is different. If your house has an air conditioner that might be a little bit oversized and it doesn't run very long to cool the house down to 78, that might be too warm for your house. If it's too small for your house, if your air conditioner is a little small, 78 might be a good temperature because it's going to run a little bit longer. And the more your air conditioner runs, if it's functioning properly, it's going to dehumidify your house a little better.
This is all you guys do. You know, once in a while you see these, they do plumbing and they do roofing and they do. You strictly concentrate in air conditioning, air quality,
Right.
Duct cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's how we got you. We had so many people asking us about duct cleaning, and that's how we found you. So we were so lucky to find the company.
Well, it's interesting because we get a lot of work from people who have had their air conditioners changed by another company, and that's all well and good. We'd like to change out every air conditioning system, but we understand. And they'll call us up, and they'll say, when they changed out the air handler, I looked up in the duct and it was black, and they said, don't worry, it's just dirt. No. At that point, you need to stop and call Envirotech. Call us.
Do you do heating also?
We do heating in South Florida. It's generally electric heat that's it's inside the air handler. And they're based on different kilowatt size based on the size of your house. But the interesting thing about heat is the first thing you turn it on in the winter, you're going to smell stuff burning.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, that's generally
What's
dirt.
burning?
That's generally dirt and dust on the heater because the heater elements in most air
So
conditioners
your
down here.
heater's not broken.
No, it's like a toaster. Imagine your toaster has those wires that glow. Well, that's what a heat strip is like in an air handler down here, and they get dust and dirt and stuff on them, and it generally burns off within a few minutes.
Says, what's burning?
Yeah, and we checked as part of our residential service agreement. We checked the heater operation. So even in the middle of summer, we're going to turn your heat on and make sure it's working. And maybe burn a little bit of that stuff off too. But if you smell it for an extended period of time, turn your heat off and call us.
Okay.
Or if you see smoke or anything, we did have somebody call us that there's smoke coming out when I turned the heat on, and it was a problem. Actually the heater was malfunctioning, and we had to switch out the heat strip. So
When you we have a couple minutes left. When you fix the problem when it comes to mold,
yeah.
is that a 1 day or several day operation?
Mold remediation, again, there's no one right answer to that.
Depends on how much
It
they
depends on the size of that. And mold remediation is quite a complex process. We're not just going in and tearing out drywall all willy-nilly and throwing stuff around your house. The process in mold remediation really is about containment, which means we're going to seal off the damaged area, cleaning the air. We use air scrubbers, HEPA air scrubbers, and dehumidifiers to control the environment, to clean the air and control the humidity in that damaged area. The proper removal and disposal of the damaged materials. You don't want to take out a 4x8 sheet of drywall that's covered in stachybotrys and walk it through your house, through your garage, into your dumpster, because what you're doing now is spreading those mold spores. So we actually have proper removal procedures, bagging and sealing. We wipe the bags before we leave that damaged area. So it's called cross-contamination, and that's the last thing we want to do.
Give everybody your phone number and give them your website too.
Yeah, again, if you're having any issues with your air conditioning system, any questions about indoor air quality, if you notice a spot on your ceiling under your windows, call us at 561-686-8926, and you can find us on the web at envirotechair.com. A lot of the stuff we talked about, we have information on the web, on our website.
I see why you're the operations manager. You explained everything so well. We are going to be back next week with more Ask the Experts. You can also tune in later this afternoon from 5 to 6 on 1470 AM with more Ask the Experts. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Ask the Expert Show, featuring interviews with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Call our office at 888-574-6999 to become one of our experts on the show. And tune in again next week for more Ask the Experts with Steve-O. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.